About a send you quite a few.
Chama that's on a permanent with T4.
Yeah, Joseph. Yeah, Joseph.
Many TSA will come in constancy and prayer. Weekend the calls be by me and I make us so Musiaba train and make him yes, and video more information centers at Tuase or Dumasi, Dubiase or Treso, and you not said you baby so me not some tea.
It's not just oh, yeah, MP, you man.
Timamicha, the constancy penny forward almost with tea and the Ghana phone in ATO.
Of course, before my branch and Wahoo, Mwempi, or her.
And Cresse. Yeah, I can't say. And when he say about call IMF, Akojimwa. And in fact, as recent as February, the court town meeting on Tamale, Omobisa, a finance minister, say, Nasenia, we are Sisika Samu Kono. Na 11 so M5. Yanyi ni say about IMF and can say, and when he say about IMF. Na yanka say betumi aboya bossum na yaso de aye banano na chairman bibia ko hia say ye beko IMF and mebo man pani abaso say ya wada na nyimre the tenase wo cabinet meeting panifo ahodo nyina kasaye mwa ajitu mama nyintu mama ne ya adwoma ne nya adwo bia cheche na adwen Bank of Ghana for be kasaye finance for be kasaye economist ahodo be kasaye titi ni na awie no ono opani na ye to abama no no ukura akofuna ne mu no we take a decision say imfiase ne IMF for ne kasa na se mo abi wo ha omde ma ye yi a ye de be so esi kasam na ye chechire no foforo ne mu a omde amaye eden na esi Chairman, so Kaya 2017 to 2019, Abra MPP aban fear Jumana Seno. Na Ghana ye economy no problems kakra wom de. Na so na economy no economy mo anesa. Isika sem no na fi ase emu peja. To hwe o man mpuntuo na afie bia ye ko anim be ye mprensa pe no. 2017, 2018, 2019 na ya double no yetumi ko anim be mprenso be 7 steps and as a 7% growth average. Na senior na mabo kosro inflation na yetumi atfi o hanchiche mudu no mabedo hanchiche munso be 7%. Sabre na o kasa inflation above obi se o na nkwan ye de inflation ya mo kanya kasa keke. Once na inflation no gi nsem kakra ko do 30% no bia kam se ene mabo aye den they say ye hu se sa ete so ba 15 to 7 no sa na ehu won fa so sabre no na bosia hu si interest rate yetumi ate so mana aba form sanse na inflation na kasa aba form interest rate so aba form nti 2017 to 2019 no mine no isika se mu peja edu 2020 na ye hwe se ebe peja kra mo ena sa ya record e we be boy nti 2020 no na sebisika kakra yetumi asie the abroni friend no your reserves near buffers any yesika sem na ho den bia bedu no de
do na we dey am say IMF na be show minimum prices here kran sana yene information minister Kojo Oppong Nkrumah and Waha Anape wasanso yemra share bedwanima ofwase ayirebi here Kojo ete
we ask me am here me balance of payments
me unhia papa
na COVID-19 e be boy ni sika kakra na yetumi asie ye buffers kakra ye reserves kakra ansana sika kakra yetumi preka ho sabre na obi nko obi ma economy ni na sebe ya hot time ye kan lockdown obi anka ofi obi anya adwuma obi sebe sika sema kofom no sabre na wo se sika kakra yetumi asie mana ba bedum pempen so bi no afi ye de no eso Ghanaian economy no uko US a omo bi be friend of fellow just so ya ban adwuma edum ribi na sa ban ho kire na yentumi hwe anim se kotena fie sa de ba wakati nyina unsa nka wakati nyina nti unsa be kan ketua na kakra bi US omo fellow aban workers were states bebre I think even at the federal level if I remember correctly ya say ya ni sa science the issue kanea yesinkofo ko ha say yemmo mask school baby spray mu we be say ya nyema hodo bebe ti wie ye na economy na ho den baby aba bedu no atofo 2021 year started say yes chechire no foforo in 2021 we are yimpuntu no musan pagya 5.4% growth nature say yasan esi that mu a ye kɔ anim and on 2022 by February you who said ntokwa apie wo Russia and Ukraine as ntokwa na apie wo ho no edin sunsun so bone ebeba be ka wiase nyina sikasem Ghana bi be kan ye bi nti be ka ya ye kɔ peduase bae no ye be ya announcement say omampani any in 2014 as ye who said ntokwa na afia say Russia and Ukraine no ma ye sikasem no ye ho be kire nti ye mfia se nye ne me bi e be ma ahokyere ne swate nti ye ka say immediate mitigating measures petrol kwa me betumi afaso ne aso petrol asen kakra transport fares kwa me betumi afaso no medi nkomo na ankosoro bebre aban sika or spende yintumi hwe na yente so kakra ministers ne aban appointee salaries yente so nema hodo aye bosomi be me nsani ena ya assessing ni na hu se babia ya bedu no problems na abade abroni fe no twin crisis na aba no support okasa na mekasa ena meka se e de ohaw kese pa betu yesi kasem no so asabri senka ye wosika da ho a enka betumi aboa yen ma da ne da ya sitinem ansa na ho kire na aba no yetumi aso ano so sabri ye savings ana ye buffers ana ye reserves ana isika ye sie deda no yedini na ye first program na fi na nka ye hwa so nti ho akohia se ye be chichire program foforo na ya piska de aye sa program foforo na ya chichire no ye hia mo wo afana ba miensa ba ko se ekobo besia sanse ye memu ha se sika ye hwehwe ne ade no e mai 11 year e pass ye ne ade 2 months pe ampa fi na fi ase de ko nanim no ebenyi nanso en starting new baby a ye hwehwe no nti I say dikan no yakobo besia nti so far yenya 1 billion a ye de aba parliament ngin tum na yemfa nka Ghana sika ho na yemmo amfa nso niema hodo a ye bre wo ho yemfa nso ano no ye 1 2 ye science we say ibenya mmoa kakra afi amayaman ho ne other capital markets so na de to so miensa no yebetumi ne IMF wadi nkomo say wo mo so enso ya sen kakra in fact IMF the last year nkwa 2021 ye koje 1 billion wo ho eno na enye balance of payment support per se but ye koje 1 billion ho last year nkwa e de be boa recovery no nti yetumi san call mo no mkodi nkomo na this time ye kone de ye pese ye koje balance of payment support na the support Ghanaian economy nti de ama yakọ IMF edi kan ni say ohawa ba wiase nyina ebia be kan na obisa IMF wo mse wiase amayaman be oha ena aba wo ho say wo mu en support wo menye Ghana nko ebibrim ha say amayan hodo akọ wo ho say wo mu support wo no saa wiase aho kire bia kan na no di kan toso mienu enka kwan anka Ghana ha say na nkasa na ebetumi afa so na yaso aho kire na aba no mu no the friend ye domestic measures na finance minister ni mpanifo ahodo nyina ye ka se eno betumi aso ye mu no enwie pay it's been significantly challenged on the revenue side ohwe enema na osi ye na aban start na ne saka sika enwie pay at the same time sika kakakra mpo a efiama no ne abai wo se ye gitum de to foto nim de ye adwuma no ye nuanom dom koma se utie ya last weekend there be say omo mpene ma emphasize kan mbambe to foto nim sa besia no mo ma ye mfa mbambe kan Ghana sika ho nti domestic measures no so na significantly challenged at the same time ukase nka wo call capital market akopiska crowd capital market so because you are downgrading in Ghana ha say no access to the capital markets no limited Diniama miensa we ena ababo mu a amaekwa ho akohia se ye ne fund no ebe kasa se mo bi ho a on betumi enyade amaya o mo fema no na ama ho akohia sa
Inti Brunibeka, is this an admission of failure? Yajatum say we failing.
Absolutely not.
Because say yenya shock absorbers ayede boy anyi baby edrun ji say ye so ya snea so ne ajatum say kwan ye fa so say ye bebu ye man no ye ntumi anya ne sa
say ka say failure na ne dia ye kan say o man be ye oha we are seeing a request for some what we say no I don't think that's what we are saying.
But say you can you yen count man be the encounter.
No creba wo kan wo de so a na wo de ahwe de ekoso ewo amayamaya hodo nyina ma men kan ahomachi na me kan research paper bi IMF or managing director Kristalina Georgieva or say more than 100 countries so far have asked for emergency assistance. Na some more can say the IMF will use its full toolbox of 1 trillion firepower of lending capacity. Maybe I mentioned Muchi, noting that so far Omama Bay 10 countries support. But there's a part that I really want to read to your listeners. Or say her comments come after the fund issued a stark warning that the global economy is on track for the deepest downturn since the 1930s, and that governments and health officials must work together to prevent an even worse outcome. The world hasn't seen a recession this bad since the 1930s, and the recovery is far from certain. The IMF head said everything is on the table in terms of measures we can take and encourage central banks to spend as much as you can, but keep the receipts because there will be accountability. And she goes on to talk about the difficulties we are seeing in our encounter. Now, no crane say BBS ama a mind bay or ha. We are seeing fanning na mind bay or ha. Watch the woman. Yen to me in Casse a Ghana and a failing Tina Cobanesa. No crane yamin saying Kenya sa crisis the tosum prenuya abeya. Enka savings kakra sikeda kakra ya part or buffers ya build your reserves kakra ya build from 2017 to 2019. Ka in the first place 2020 na hunku hiya se sebi yedi ni na abeya juma na yedi ye no na nka hunku hiya se nka by now ye rebuild bibi fufura bampo a na wo se nka ye kosiro bi nka by now nka ye reserves a betumi dia so ya sin but dia ifi edikan yare no mu bae ne de tosumi nu ntokoi de abeyi eno na ama ehu akwako hia se nya yenko a yen ne amaya hodo ye beje sa amwa ya fund no ede ebo amaya omo ho akire om sabre nyina
Kojo se hwe yare no ho asem a ye covid ebiso ede aboy sobo se aban ayi bibia kan potokasem wasteful expenditure skani bi wo a sebe ye de yenyoma ehu hia uso musai because me sure sawate na aban di kan no say ye man Nkrumah aduane ye take ania so and I say my free electricity free water but be super said there was wasteful expenditure skebi wo hanke hu hia but in the name of covid is kasem basa uso musai
chairman so be person or determine say sika ye je any nane call baby and I say kwame did say there's a process for that your friend finance minister money by parliament money be bu akonta akonta obebu ye hu bibia wo say sika ye no yamfa nye dia nese
but speaker super chair say finance committee ni health committee omombo mu na omoyen hwehwe me say nkonta na bi nsie ni
well not exactly or so person e further inquiries into it
thank you see ni ankonye further inquiries
opening no ba kire mu say sika ono mobilize ni say no the various ministries, departments and agencies say omofanya COVID response no ono ne answer no speaker say opese omo ye nhwehwemu about ministries, departments and agencies ni say dia omo de ye na no ana omo de ye ya me no krampo me hu ni say problem ho ti say bibia kochema yin na be hu from the auditor aban eye at the end of the initial program no you hu say bibia kochema and or the results number to parliament and in parliamentary committees no go further and look into it. So I don't think say at this time fair say obi allegations ana obi yintini e beka say based on that nature say sika nyini na ne call baby e was e call but the reality is say sika have to be mobilized to support Ghana ohwe nipa a ehwere omo nkwa e compare to we say baby bebre nipa ehwere omo nkwa nyame aye adom say okon ekon etia saa yare no ayeye ana sabedum pempen so bia nekra yare ne mu epeja kakra no nipa dodo sebe anhwere omo nkwa e wo Ghana yenya aboye ho ban awie sabre na fi sika no ho akonta ne ho nsem no ye fi ase di ho komo and so far there's not been any evidence on the table say sebe sika no bia ensa kan enye ho ana sebe bia na wo se koshe no enye ho ene koe but be that as it may chairman a fact say sa bosia ye ball COVID-19 abra no obi nko obi mba obi ntua to ye ma tax reliefs ne keka woni ade no eno na edi titiri ma yesika da ho kakra na yenya no sebe ye hwere de kun sa ntokwa no na sesei no baabi a ya begina no asemfo frasan beto ya ho akohia se yebenya mmoa kakra e de ayemodima de Ghana fo bibiri suro ni se wo kan IMF pe eche se conditionalities na conditionalities ne ba ne me hia Ghana fo pa no IMF beka se yentwitwam ho no na sesei yen ye ni kire se be make sure se nkomo a ye ne omo ba bedi fiti wuku ade ya ebe ye be boy ho modern se ne me hia Ghana fo pa no ye be hwe na yetumi abo ho ban ho na sesei ye ni echire
na mra NDC for echo IMF 2014-2015 brofu bi omuka betu dwa ye policy credibility na mudi mo say balance of payment support ne krakra ne say
policy credibility na IMF na yenu anu NDC for say omo kope o IMF na omo nchire mu ni say omo ankasa wonyina so a omo de be solve problem na omo ankasa create no obeka say yenu anu NDC for IMF omo koye no enye ye die bia no de ko buy ni say abra yewura mills nyame mfa ne kransie o free abemu abra odani bunkum so a o fi abemu no sabra no ne finance minister Dr. Kobnadu for matumi achechire Ghana economy no single digit inflation na growth say be 11% ni ade economy na eye ya ne sa ye de ma yewura John Dramani Mahama former president Mahama na external global crisis biansi ono ani domestic management ewie ye no ono ano beka se o mare nam no e ma no aka dompe enti no wo mo e call fund no for bailout nyame na meka ono ne words na me repeat e dey amawe what ended up happening ni say o mo call for bailout ni wie ya yenye ba ban mu no 2017 to 2019 se na me di kan ye hu se na Ghanaian economy no e perform we ene bebia ye ginen e na ama e ho akwa akohia se yes, you back off called bailout, but a different scenario. And yeah, sebi ye internal domestic management, external issues, external pressures na abano, and no and aquaco ma and when he say you back off for this facility.
But Ghana ni bia kebia yendi nim say IMF say external pressures.
Hospital for checkup. Obi to make hospital because sebi and no anajo ko wi bi ma bebia odano ohia drip. Na yaman infusion. Nti yen kan say the mere fact say obi akọ hospital no all hospital be hospital. The do call en hu hia. Ti no na me kire mu say yen fa ne say yetifie.
Enti yen de na President Mahama de call no. Domestic management that by.
I mean, there was
no external shocks according to you.
Exactly, because
now, enti say ska hin ekwa kwajo ho.
Well, so first of all, we'll say analysis no about Sika. You be here. We say Ghana Sika here close to about $3.5 billion generally. 3.5. Yedi Kenya be $1 billion. Our parliament say, ye hear him say MPs you na ebe ba together. Na approve. Na Ghana sa kan say scan. Sa abria ye fi ahokyere mu kofo bia complain say ne ho akyere no. Ye free mu no. Nkrumah ehye. Na say aminu anu mi bi call demonstration and when you na me national service for ni teacher for ni ade edi nkomo ahokyere wo krom yensa ka 1 billion say yemfa good foto nim ne yemfa emmoa emiti your obligations ni bi na yemfa so ya sene kakra ye hwe anim say can parliament yenko ye na MPP NDC ye beji atum na ma ahokyere na aba na eso ate kakra na sempo no ankoye west eno ye 1 2 IMF window no ebi betumi nya be 1 to 2 billion e de aka ho depending on the abenya no now the account 1 billion na ewo ho no deda 3 yanka say o your domestic measures are the raises kakakra e-levy kan ho bi property rates e kan ho bi tax exemptions bill at that parliament I see they take your exemptions so na sika aban entai nyi no eno say e kan ho bi a ye hwe na ya pass exemptions bill na yensa kan say ska no sa niam ahodo we nyina yetumi ya yensa betumi aka sa be 3 to 3.5 billion no near the Ghanaian economy no asin near the acquired.
Interesting. Many Professor Boating, head of economics department, University of Ghana, Legon Trichin Commerce in a year start here. Or can be about tax exemptions bill. So exemptions bill, yes, that watch. Are they?
Finally, well, first, not in Niho. Yaya Bemu near the buy. Near to me and pass it before the last parliament. sisi ho adwuma wie ti ye call back se plenary no beji atum na ya pass no into law ya dey very committed to say you betumi ya block some of the loopholes Emma abanza enkas kadibini betumi ya block ne dey adwuma
Kojo nyencha ya bedru ha no wa cheche mu say external shocks and the bedru ha but yetieti nkomo a ye ne Professor Lord Mensah anopay and Professor Babuati anopay nkomo ni bia atwetwe a somebody be ma betu dwan say for example exemptions bill still are since into loopholes wo ye risk fa ho e-levy mo anye ni ye ehun nkomo ne nhihye ne kwan was nke di 11 ye mo anye ama Professor Babuati kayen Dr. Kwabnadu for say money doesn't like noise. Na 11 ne hihye na nko ye ka ho ne wa ha. Wasanso ka about procurement. Any value for money auditor enye papa. Projects bi wo are inflated. But nimbe was wasteful. I say assistant your money be boyable. Ye free SHS. Ye agenda 111. Ye see be you start. Yes, ye napco. Nina and a scanning nako. Inti, we are also the cause of why we are here. It is not just external shocks be and amayabas. I don't know so much say.
So my exemptions bill medical account was said, Mammy for BB to say e-levy our penny say money doesn't like noise. I am passing money doesn't like noise. Na noise no. Nye any cause noise no.
When it cause
Ghana a bind bia so what they will fiscal program for the year ever to parliament hindi hun komo parliament na ya to so about parliament ni sorry so ye be have we say ni ama kwan say wo de corner ye wo corner ye na anye yi a ye de be kwa campaign etia wo say Ghana for nto abantia wo but ye nka say deliberately ni ye stop you as a bind from doing that which you have decided to do a wo de abeto o mine anim ABA the Albanian said there will be a demonstration on the streets. Say I deal with the MP. Me kai VAT. Time and MPP for say VAT MP. Demonstration on the street. But say ye be kun to kwa parliament pa no be actually bleed the try new MP. Ama Moody's abe downgrade and say governance system no into me hold and I say the outlook for the governance system near very negative. Ni enfen downgrade and then unti no chene bi upiska unya no. E bin see that. Money doesn't like noise, but noise no. And any noise in the buy. Apart from the fact that even e-levy noise started, it took about 4 months. And no cry near ding after about 4 months and sana year to me ensure say measure no air pass our parliament. And ne uyi e-levy crazy the 1 billion na yensa kan ne but I can say here be 3 to 3.5 billion.
Yes.
1 billion na yensa kama na bano. UTA, the former president John Dramani Mahama last Thursday, also and this is for Mungu. Also Mungu. And says can Obogu what to be the effect. And now which will crum into a toa year so be a bit to an anchor the tour no CC and near my say the CC no. And massing a year. A buying any 1 billion, say in Femra, or say a Mungu. Near bosses can go a bad day and a wenya. Sika sabre a hochire wo ko me e be den wanya sika na wo de aye niam o manfo nyina e hwe anim se ye no enti some of the challenges are and I'm catch you say your domestic program has been challenged no? Some of the challenges are aba to your domestic program no in free buying fine you person be blame game point fingers but honestly speaking wo hwe wono ma are obstructing and are frustrating a buying efforts say ye mobilize kakrakra de adwuma in free buying BB to say or say procurement any wasteful and I say expenditure items bia omuhu ni ye kwa me nko obi afo ma o se nko na yekwani programs ni bibra ye run no se wo si form na one Ghana for edi nkomo a ombeka no kura kire how I impact on my life last election year I call minim NDC ni o se o MP position ni de man to am Kojo but president ni de me to man na Akufo-Addo me say adon so me de me NDC ni emo me ba enya free SHS ni enya wa na Akufo-Addo nti no ma me to man
oh constituency
I am say na ba ne say no be o say no kwani nyame anim ni sa be 3000 cedis titisika 30 million na nka metua for me ban on the admission and sana ne nneɛma ɔde kɔ school ne ade nyinaa ne nsa aka na wakɔ school no sɛ aban the program aba na ye free me so asa 3,000 say aboa me betumi de ye nneɛma hodo aka
yes and so ka ho na ye do ba bia do sense free SHS ye review na yan hwem yi a we're throwing too much money away
never ho but point I'm making is obi betumi atena ba bia aka say into social protection programs no ehun hia eno na akwa yaba but se usi form na onin kofo din komo baako ubehu program bia nipa o benefit ni sene eboa no enye ye nyina ye say Americans know economic jargon be so you have to lift and I say pull yourselves by your bootstraps wankasa so ulesi no mu na fa chichire mpaboa no man show obi ho mpaboa no kro nhye bi enti say ye de ye ho measure ye nuano ma aka nyina o Ghana ha say ya and abon say the gap no the poverty gap no air widen.
Remember example back on that too. Meka waha mekebium. Metis Legon. Mebaku School Association International.
Yeah.
Metrian school fees.
Yeah.
Now, Wesley girls and fancy prima always will be
good. Now, and on a second issue, no. The second issue is that in the social protection programs here we're rolling it out. Is there room to say over rationalize it? Is there room to over fasona watete biso anase over chichiri bifufro? I think there's room to do that. But first of all, some of these programs also we introduced from the beginning. Health insurance, you're starting and then you say in it. You're starting in a particular way at a particular level. But ye ko ye nimuna ye sunya bibi woman ade no. Na ye correct chinchim nun kakran. Sebi adwuma ya momo womi right from the beginning. Na nye say na ni nyina ate but ye ko ye nim ne ade no say mo tighten mo de bi ka ho mo yi bi free mo say staff cramp and first mo beka say mo fa station bia full complement of staff no say mo was some kofobia mo to be adwuma across some of the into some of those rationalizations not come with time.
But it's 5 years.
Well, now. But 5 years in the life of a country, Chairman, 5 years in the life of a country.
5 years in the life of a social intervention program. 5 years in the
it's not too much.
In the life of
social
baby say you call IMF.
No, IMF need my explanation of the core reasons.
It
gives us room. It gives us room say Sabri some of these programs near the no you be kwanya e be fa so ye dey rationalize and I'm expecting say yetna say ni no mo back and forth near there dia ehia Ghana for pa no you betumi abo ho bai dia ye hu bibia eyeyi ana sakra mu kakra eyeyi no you betumi ahwe ne aye but chairman in the end no like I said earlier IMF embe solve Ghana economic problems they are only here on balance of payment support kakra because of pressures international crisis no e dey abeto yeso. But we are and as part of it now say yanka say dey ho komo about kwan ben ye betumi afa so na Ghanaian economy no emu be a lot more than the be crowd from 2017 to 2019 na etumi aso aba amanipa dodo e produce ya ton wa mansen dwaso yenya dollar e de aba beto ye Bank of Ghana ne ye account mo na sa dollar na ma ye cedi no emu aye duru esidi no ahoden agina ne naso na asanso aboa finance ministry the omo friend fiscal framework sika liquidity kakra edi tuetu ahode ye adwuma no etumi di abo eno ye adwuma IMF intumi nyamae ene ye adwuma sabri ye ko enimu a ye chichi ne foforo no e wo se edi hu nkomo ne hwese ne be ya
wa wonye ntia kan ni se twa rotos
rotos
me ka se sa no pa me no ye ho interview
me ka se sa da no me ka chere se rotos wo hwe de ade ba sika ne ye 72 million. Apart from Sikana 72 million, no, we share or how edibre wanoma ekoko dimu in terms of hours of productivity you lose fumes and for how many are now they compare to say e-levy by the time we be doing the optimal level ye block loopholes kakra sika yen sabeka umua in susunyano ne calculation ne chere yen say utumima we ko na we focus on we say the fact that ma we ko no enche say first day na no e-levy be deliver the awohwehwe no e di amount
na ma san bisa the same question me bisa
which was
say ye twem ne nanke etum nka de he na ye
well
because me can say that say identity obi wa Land Cruiser na ukutua route otua one city
chairman and there fuel prices in fact there was a major suggestion there was a major suggestion say yem fan to fuel also and me kai say sada me buy me catch you say fuel no send it no wo di bibi koto so a se fuel bo start kosoro pe transportation first be di kan akọ transportation start kosoro aduane be di so beto as aduane start to the third thing is say obia best start ya to ni niamam enti no so ka se wo yi na de aba to fuel so a ebe din ama ene fuel hwe $74 per barrel in December last year. So the ja what board so into $74 and never 133. Inti senka ye mistake say road tolls na ye you know ye de kwa koto fuel so a nke no awon asem. Also no senka even who ka say who increase tolls na nka say anything that adds to the cost of transportation. And never Ghana Statistical Service say transportation cost a cost ro kakra pe na bibia e cost ro. Inti I think said the initial thinking say yemfa ye ninchre e-levy nemo mienhwe na e-levy no enye yie over a period say na betumi raise more sika de amaye no. I don't think it was a wrong decision. The here ne say tokro bia e da e-levy no say na mpanifo ka say bia e-levy ne yanchechire ne yie nkeka no ade yemma ye ninko yensi nkonwa dan na yanchechire omu a sebi
communication Kojo wa uni say communication
no any communication no t chamati the issue that is being raised say your friend is saying say who allow merchants it make transactions without it being subject to e-levy, then what will end up happening they say be cash out. That's not communication, that's the structure of the tax.
But in kitahudie kosu ya what do you mean the word communication dam yen in kitahudie
between policy maker and stakeholders
e kosu ya kan bia ye nura e bia kosu ya kan nura
in kitahudie de e kosu wie sen a policy maker no on will be taking a decision. IMF is saying, we can't say finance minister, can't say we chairman say. In the end, no policy maker can make a decision. So decision now obey making and e-levy. There was a consultation with the relevant people who needed to be consulted. When they gave their views, no, the tax structure was put in a particular way. And they almost say tokrobi them. I am for cash out in for avoid the normal transactions. Yentrasi. Sa tokro no himfa da kwan be ne betumi afa so asi sa tokro so that ade na ya de pa no e be yield the results a ye hwɛ na ye de asom oman no. And I believe say ye man ani kɔ hɔ a e ade a betumi a conclude ni enye sa sika na ye de be som oman ye nyina no Ghana dem say ne ye na ye pɛ but e ya kwan e be fa so achieve that no the politics involved no and no na ye tumi na say ye tutu ne ye a ye benya result a ye hwɛ ama oman ni na.
Ain't the IMF what is in it for Ghana? What does it mean? I say anything. What does it mean? IMF.
One, they are everywhere to require a balance of payment support.
Mrs. Hadi and I say anything. Brofu kakana wakano.
Balance of payment support. And typically no. We are say they are me ya ton man kofo aton ebema me menyeska. Now also they are wo ya man kofo aton ebema nkofo aton ebema wo wenyeska. Na fi ukreska na mi kreska they are here be aye to me ato. Nti me pe shirt, me pe shoe, me pe aduane kakra me nya to. Also pe headphones pe wo so be nya to. Nti wo productivity wo beton adwuma wo ye sebe wo beton mo bi aton na ebema wenyeska. If at any point in time adwuma wo ye eton no wo form sin dia wo to a one kasa no dia broni be kasa wo balance of trade dia wo ton enyeska wo form sin dia wo to a wo be wi no aboka
Ghana say Ghana you
because Ghana memu ha no ade ba kwa wo se ye ne se wo se produce niema bibre ne de kwa ama no ne koton ne yenya dollar e de begu Bank of Ghana foto ni no be per dollar de akoba bi ochina kra e bi wo ho nti price no enkoso ade day no ye de obi cash no so ba so obaji ni sika e benya dollar ni bi e de ama no. The truth is that say your balance of trade akona nimu kakra enye crisis ye ba ya ama ye ho akere kakra nka your balance of trade akona nimu kakra no your balance of payment a start to improve payment ne ye di dwani wi sika ifi mu ba nti when at any point in time niema wo de kwa ama no ne ekokoton no iswasin niema wo krafi ama no ne ede ba o balance of payment no be wo form wo be ko ahokyerem nti e ho na edu ba bi na se wankasa wo ni sika fi o man ni mu a wo de no ebi air show up there na ne wo be hia so be ko akopam mu abi e de a show up nti ba bi e ginan ye wie sa IMF nkomo ya na as part of nkomo na de ba ko pa wo se ye ne se kwan be na ebetumi afa so ne enya a way of producing a lot more na export ni ensa ka dollar ediato ye Bank of Ghana account no chine bi no ye hia dollar ana say Ghana hia dollar dia ye bibia yensa ka dollar no ne bo enkonko kosoro bebre eno ne mo a ye GFI IMF but sene America na ye wi a yankasa no titiri mfidi djuma wo mo a ye kra niema kwa bruchire enema ye krafia bruchire wo se hwe ne yete so ne ye produce wa hase no ubeka last economic policy ye de call parliament ye de benchmark value reversal policy koe you know good for so iti sa policy no kade be ne se ebe make sure say no mo e kokra ne mafia bruchire ye bete so na nkasa ne ma ne sika ko na ye de kofa fia bruchire ba ne produce sa ne ma no wa se you know sorry ti opposition for the omhujimu ebe he consultation we say okay niam ankese ebe no yenye 50% no achieve dia wo hwehwe enti baby ayedu no whilst ye gemo akakra fi IMF na wo se nyina ye di ho nkomo se niam bi wo wa e wo se ye improve o mamu ye improve o mamu ha sa 17th or 18th time ye koi it may not be the last e wo se ye improve sa niam no na ho ankohia se yebeko hobium baako ene yankase toa yitua wo mamu ase domestic resource mobilization any dede a ye peja abrebi ebeka se yentua to no panin say money doesn't like noise I say sa de ne ma no brase ne yeboaboa ye nyina ya dwen kosi benko se wo se yetua to kakra ne de akekere man ne as a first step as a second step ene ma ye krafia ma no ne bebrei wo se ye teso ne produce wa hase ye produce a ye ton bi kwa boche ye nya sika begu ofoto eno na be ma ye seed no emu ejina eno na bema yenya nyuma ama mrante ani mebu you start here now can so bc ye ntwemu no you start here hu hia so that mrante ani mebu on employment wa bonten no eso beti
now ko first kana unibi now there
into first kana say we ye negotiation first of all negotiation na wo ye no ebi so say ye betwitwa ne ma we bi mu so eno na me ka say e bia obi wa adwuma to so na you start no kra mu ntwam na ko no kra mu ntwam obi a why nap kwa yintia me say last trip me call me nurse for na ade a nap ko me ana na wo say me ko piska credit ko ti omka because ye do omka because sika wo say ba photo nim eso a wo ka say yintia simple teku dama say na kan money doesn't like noise na noise na start na push sika na kwa away but these are things wo say you two ho na mon emma ye nyina nya ntia say wo say you contributing in sika dia is anima and these are also programs ebia media me wa adwuma ntimi hia napko but obi hia ehia eho aketua obi hia you start no nya dwetre kakra ukodwam ne ma ne kasa omso ye hia sika kakra na ye di edidwa these are programs ebo ankofo and in the end no negotiation ayeye no e wo see etumi negotiation in such a way say the hia Ghana for pa ne betumi abo ho ban at the same time no niema after program we say eno na be sustain Ghanaian economy no e wo see ehwe na yetumi
you're programming for how long, how many years?
There are different IMF programs.
Into what are we buying into?
Well, program no is determined by data no. Fiti ukwa don ba na started na say data na. Ye nyine benya fair idea which program we should go for. Be a one, in fact, be a short, in fact, be a standby arrangement SBA. Unfa unsankeske bia, but omsi Canada ho say ochna no pa ho kire wa otumi ba gibi. But na omaya assign ama. E be a 2-year program, be a 3-year program, be a 6 months, depending on the kind of you are looking for. But data nature then program now benya. Till from Wednesday, you see kunwani start to
but yeah, data ye kutano, yeah, how long do we think it will take us to get out of the woods?
How long would it take? Typically, it take about 6 to 9 months to negotiate a successful IMF program. Last 1 year, it take 7 months. Ye hwe se ye betumi ateso kakra na nka ebia na be 4 or 5 months bi kwa yetumi awia na nka yetumi ahwe wi
na je se enye betesa Kojo Oppong Nkrumah MP of Fosse Ayerebi Information Minister Republic of Ghana. Kojo, TUC Trades Union Congress say sa movie ye brofu bi say a tragic mistake, almost a sad decision. Omo pache say labor union agitum say challenges we me mu say economy no adding kaka but omo nyin ni say IMF na ebeboa but baby amudi akofa die a rough road papa na amudi akofa no Professor Ransford Jampo oye University of Ghana lecturer wasan so ye UTAG Legon campus oyo mo general secretary. So they are two just say Nyamuye it will make the country ungovernable. Uso mu say
mini anoma wo TUC o masamu a o makano no statement na o macho no yeti o mase o mo masem ne say titiri pa no enema wo se ye e magana sikasem ejina ne na so no idea was to me the domestic solutions NA. Intinya dia anka ehu be hia say ebeko IMF. Eno na me di kan che say wo kwa IMF po a eniema no pa e wo say wo ye no. E wo say wanka sa hwe na wo ye. E wo wo say to e wo say tua. Eniema e krafia ma no ne e wo say hwe ne ete so na yanka say produce bi na ma adwuma ne esika se mu apagya. Eniema nyina wo say e yade wo ha say wo say enemo animanimu ye ya ye domestic economic program ye de to mining in the core parliament e face a lot of frustrations no so when to an amount say wo be pesi ka bi eda ho se bibi ba wo de be so ano a na ka se wo twen for domestic measures no to mature fully wo di agora won sabe to me asifom eno nti no eno mampani aka se watini nyina ne mom yen start no mo ni nkomo na yembie window bi wo ho a se bibi ba wo se tumi nya buffers, savings, reserves be de so ano ye tumi e de aso ano enye sa na ye ka se ye tena se atwen se Ghana fo nyina beti ase no metua etuo bi ana ye tena se atwen se yi property rates a ye no ye nsa be kan na ana ye tena se ahwe se 1 billion na da parliament no ye be atum ama se sika na be hit Bank of Ghana ene ya titru yenu anu mendisi for so omumwa ma ye nje sa 1 billion no ye ka se ye tena se ebia na se mboni bia beto ye nti yenu anu TUC for ye te o masem na se papa de toso mienu ne se omu suro se conditionalities o masem ne se nipa bebre hwe se nka ombenya adwuma titru e wo aba adwuma mu public sector recruitment and sana social protection programs e boa nkofo obi ntumi ntua ne school fees free SHS na e boa no obi pese onya dwetri kakra de ye adwuma branch bi awie school ohia mmoa kakra e de akononim you start na be boa no omusuro se IMF fo be ka se yentwitwa sa na mani na mu na emmoa pa ha ye de boa Ghana fo no yakotwitwa so omudika e fair to have that fear but eno so ntina mpanimfo e hwese negotiations na ye no yebetumi abɔ saa niema na ehu hia no yebɛbɔ ho ban na aboama saa niema na Ghana fo hia pa na nka yankotwitwa so na aboama yetumi akoso aye emu bi anaase emu dodo e de aboa so ye nuanom asen
mebe no so Abdul Malik Kwekuba kuna opese ohede mi anope or see free SHS for all children of all citizens of the land, rich and poor. No basis for discrimination implied in your advocacy. The state or government can institute a national fund scheme of a sort for the rich who want to pay their award school fees to contribute their quota into that national fund to support the funding of free SHS for all citizens. The rich who don't want the state to pay their award school fees could exercise their right to take their awards out of the public school system. In any case, how much is the cost of the free SHS within the context of our national budgetary expenditure as compared to the cost of wastage, corruption, and other institutional slippages? Postscript, stop your advocacy. My two pesos. I am not advocating anything. I am actually moderating conversation. I was saying na ye di hun komo. Kojo baby edui ahunchire ho. Enti some of the things are now amount for ka say e waste. Me koka free SHS wa se me na kweku epempeming. Napco uchrechre mum value for money inflated projects, procurement, exemptions, uchrechre mum e-levy. Kojo agenda 111 National Cathedral. Would we have a second look at it?
Question we be na dan me ko yi anu ankofo je manu si bone no.
Ta?
Me can say omanpani rules or the aba in this process ye hwe isika sem ne nyama pese nyina ne say ye man ni ndi bibia echi bibia ye hwe na say yete eso a eyeyie bibia ye hwe na say ye achieve eyeyie wa bra ye spend the same sika ya budget no ye hwe na ye ntete ne ka no so already Makacho's aban appointees aketua yate so be 30%. Ministries budgets yate so. Enu po yate so no say statistical service for say affect aban ability to deliver and o mining puntu nyina until say hweye nti so na say ye hweye. But eno is a demonstration say bibia yate ne bo so ye na bibia aban spend less on it ye no. ɔmampanin instructions ne sɛ yɛnhwɛ kwan yɛbɛfa so yɛayɛ ɛno nkyerɛ sɛ ade ko no yɛntwam ade bi wɔ hɔ a yɛbɛtumi yɛ review bi ne sɛ woka free SHS ho asɛm yi it may be possible for somebody to say so okay yɛdane wei yɛbɛyɛ saa berɛ yi a yɛsi nkonnwa yɛakɔ through this process of negotiation ne adeɛ yi of course some things will come up to be looked at yɛbɛhwɛ ne nyinaa na baabi a yɛtumi achieve yɛ nneɛma no bi ɛyɛ baabi a yɛtumi ɛtete budget no so bi ɛyɛ no yɛahwɛ na yɛatete so bi but I think so we have to give mpanimfoɔ no the opportunity sɛ ɔmbɛyɛ saa negotiations no at the same time yɛyɛ no so yɛnkan ho sɛ ɛwɔ benefits for a lot of people na meka sɛ obi ɔno ɔte ne air condition mu yɛ adwuma deɛ woka napkɔ ase but obi a wapɛ adwuma 5 years na wonya bi na wanya napko ɔgye ne biribi kakra sika delay bɛyɛ 6 months or 7 months or ɔno ɔfili pinch na a bit more nti a balancing act yɛbɛbɔ yɛ ho mmɔden ahwɛ sɛ ne yɛbɛbalance
bɛɛ na ɔtwe mmienu ɔkaeɛ mmerɛ twam nkyɛ biara Deputy Finance Minister John Nkrumah kaeɛ Finance Minister Nankasa Kenoforiata kaeɛ IMF was not an option.
But you mean because IMF is not an option?
Yes, you got to as a point and person me bisa. Me bisa.
Okay. Nka wo tip now.
Yes, so got to as a pack say IMF any option. Aha, into tie di ma me bisa.
Okay.
Ne yi wa no. In fact, Chief Bani crowd they are sending me say me miss out.
Utumi bo ma me crampon.
Me ni tape no.
Chief ma catch and so ntu anakonta seka nti na me ba ha ne kasa. Onye steady. Obefa you know about ntu anakonta seka to onye steady.
Chief asuma you yourself you the owe money no dey pay.
Me ko asempa. Ena me nua obi bisa me say Moody's for report say NDC aban na Yura Mahama edi anim. Wɔn call IMF no IMF ɛma wɔn discipline wɔn ho na discipline no ɛboa Ghana sikasɛm na minsusu sɛ ɛwɔ sɛ yɛma Yewura Mahama ne NDC aban no credit those were his words do they not deserve credit for going to the IMF
I'm saying
I only question into uhwe video na only question the first part of the na me say I obi si abotre IMF de bibi na de ukọ and then they do call IMF no. Yewura Mahama say omo we nam no mane ka dompe enti no omo call IMF for support. Enti say also your mom creditor. What are we giving them credit for? Is it a nam no omo we mane ka dompe no? And now say IMF omo call because omo agi atum so omo we nam no mane ka dompe no. Now it will be ridiculous say one kasa oberi nam no mane ka dompe na uwi a wo say me dia call ma IMF say ye mo me nam solve enti ye ma me credit. That's exactly what I said. Now me bisa question we are problem be na o
enti one kasa ye nko IMF
me wo dem pa check it nti am kasa nka botape no
chief say ogitum say ne okan na etisa ode fa eyinim obi kra de bi okra obeti enti obi say wuti
me kra me a copy of tape no I say me to me for the abro
there be me pɛ wo copy me pɛ chief de baba no
mate chief of our senior
me pɛ ne de eno na me hu say chief de na no kra
man senior
minister Ken Oforiata Ora said Tekpe, our former finance minister. In fact, American is the immediate past finance minister. As the Oforiata's adamancy cause of Ghana's late IMF talks. Opache says Senka Winka Ayedada no Senkiako.
Time
well, this I'm reading or say
no, I mean or say that na make us a time bang. Time I pass a budget in November last year now you the policy na betu anim nana. Because ukaya time ye the budget no ba. Ebi mo asem o mo ka wo ka se ye ntua to na emfa mo boa ye ho ne yen. Om se debi IMF. I say na dey akwanya wo ho a yen ka se betumi akeka yen sa ase kakra. Wo hwe to a yeti o Nkrumah say 12% of GDP. I will say a pagem ko be 20%. Ye mo boa ye ho no se debi IMF. It's that time no na wo ka se yen kona because they were saying it.
Ebi omo patches samre no mo medical we say baby ade no kono.
Sabre no hwe data at that time there was no challenge. Yeah, reserves na about 4 months of import cover. There was no and the 4 months of import cover na way better crampo than what the NDC had done in previous times. So there was no basis Sabre. And when a few things crisis started hitting in February. enti ahokyere na kosoro eno ye 1 and 2 ye domestic measures anka ye de be so ahokyere na no are being severely challenged by the various things I edi kan edi hu nkomo no and no na abe create the need say omampani say ye no omo nkasa na yembie window bi because at the same time no yankasa ye boy ho your levy kakra your 1 billion kakra da ha say betumi de asoyasin say yetumi eboa epiani na through ebema even how much help you require from the fund no crampo no ehun ko hia say ebe bebre.
Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta on obedi anymore.
President na chair IMF task force no. But Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta e kan obi. In fact, no any team of finance and we must start the first level of engagements to share the data any idea.
Sir President, they'll be leading task force, but leading our team as a finance minister. Because it says here the IMF team arrives in Accra on Wednesday to begin bailout talks with government. The ministry said the Minister for Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, will be leading the negotiations with the IMF in the coming days.
Where down there?
Released from the Ministry of Finance.
Me na me cabinet meeting. The Omampeni Kaya me maintain cabinet meeting. President na a chair task force. And what authorizing finance minister say on starting engagements. No statement me about na me sasha say no quite clear. President say almost starting engagements. Engagements the first part say on be share data no. Ebia that's what they are referring to in almost statement na issue now. Or no any officials or more lead the exercise of sharing the data near the Here we are this weekend they say yes I call cabinet retreat to examine the first part of Nkrumah say now the president will be in the chair. What are we asking for? What are they asking for in Kikani there? Almost back full big level team no bar. If you want president or task force neto na yedi Nkrumah. Inti you're optimistic say in the end under the leadership of the president he be taking the kind of decisions that are in the best interest of the government.
I'm sure you know the Intia Medo call it may be sad because a be super say finance minister Nankasaka say IMF was not an option. Inti no mununyo no njindi. So it's a safe say OD and him no. TV nene bled kakra and out here in fact na me person me before but uti o man peni dada mahama say he has lost credibility and the trust and confidence of stakeholders in our economy. Really he doesn't believe in the IMF. Why should he be the one leading us?
Mama a few examples. O man peni dada John Dramani Mahama me kai pass that time na me central tama e bi mo kan first to say acquire domestic measures or more handle no di agro boy economy ni form na e hu be here say e be call for a bailout no o man pani na nkasa a graphic front page no be can say no IMF chama okay
men kai mo just am here
man pani John Dram maybe I'll find a copy of the graphic for no say no IMF and the o man pani na nkasa ne kan yo e wi akire no o mo call say nchibae no they had to go to the IMF. And on the man, you bisa say, na say na wo se won corner ban, say na kono so you call for policy credibility keke. Because now your homegrown solutions near call for policy credibility. I want to say common if you buy. In the end, no, or no had credibility to negotiate with, and I say to sign off an agreement with the fund or no kaso man penny. We finance minister, and I say or GD say your domestic answers. President say now no monko kasa start to share data no with them. Miami chair task force no mu you ombeba in nebedi nkomo. What is the view say president now no take a decision a leading will not have the credibility to sign off a deal with the IMF. The finance minister now or no express the view during the process president take a final decision no because or no can sign no will not have the credibility to negotiate. Tell me your first point. Second point. Now you are set tekwe and Seth ya madam for papa.
Yeah, okay.
No, yeah, in charge of fiscal policies at time. So no one only did the engagements with the fund. Share data near the end.
Because you're a technical candidate, say IMF is not an answer.
You're a president Nankasa Neka say no IMF. But one permanent finance minister. On Nankasa Krampon is one permanent.
That's what you're doing to me.
But certainly, if you are following the rationalization, making Nkasana was econo. But and then in this case, who compare there, then they are changing the goalpost and the Pam Ofori-Atta track record 2017 to 2019 when there was no crisis. We just said the home will be 2021 when the COVID crisis was going down, a year recover Ghanaian economy no, at the home will be and then 2022 are somewhat twin. and I domestic solutions into me and so no totally. Yes, Remwa Kakra. Me sure say no na manina so say Yura Mahama because I am finance minister. Sen Kasadi and no Pamo Yura Tekwe and Uncle Pamo no one who Tamokase no IMF.
Well, I'm say what's more be some Friday been Bremen I think that maybe or say Reuters article be I don't know. It's taking quite a while to open. Mahama urges workers not to jeopardize IMF deal. I'm sure that was under his watch, but I'll leave it there now. Information Minister Kojo Oppong Nkrumah studio Anopei. Now we're talking the IMF, as I said, the IMF edition of Kokrokoo. At this point, Kojo says it is the best at this point. Inti Eja, obisi mbisa say inti dada dankro for export TV. Inti the export TV. Yeti hani yako. I say, Charlie, I'm out for exporting marijuana. You put the seats there, they speak English. Could you Oppong Nkrumah no team? I should be dreaming on pese obey.
Only sure say, me no, yeah, down for Bakubino.
Where they are completely different person.
Okay.
And you're Bakubino, and you're Bakubino. 80 rotos, and you're the back one.
I'm say in your fiscal program, I had buy and we were clear say. In place of the road tolls, we were looking at e-levy.
Okay.
I want to say, your cotton near your assessment and be business.
This one from Joe Safo in Legon. Joe Safo says, Chairman General, going to the IMF is not a bad idea. We are not the only nation that has sought their intervention for our ailing economy. What is critical is to abide by any fiscal discipline they prescribe and also balance such with local reality. We shouldn't think that the IMF has all the answers. It's time to explore local factors and effective governance structures to address our challenges. It is assertively healthy to admit that some of the government decisions and steps have not worked. Kojo should admit this and appeal to us for understanding. It is not helpful for him to score political capital by comparing now to when NDC was in power. Telling us how government will prosecute an effective intervention to address the current crisis is important, and that is what will help them break the 8. Tell Kojo we wish him well, and we wish all of them well. The battle is indeed still the Lord's. Joe Safo from Legon sends that one in. Right, tell Akonta Chief Binding that in case he has forgotten, the NDC has boycotted Kokrokoo. He should stop sending you messages. George Quatting in Adenta. George, you know, I have a big heart. I try. I have my flaws like every man, but I believe I have a big heart. Since Kojo Oppong Nkrumah became minister, he's exhibited great trait of competence and excellent oratory skills. Speaks and the disturbed atmosphere becomes calm. Keep serving Ghana, Kojo. Farouk Intema. We are Obo Abaso. Okatia Wanke Beka. Into the Obo Abaso Sami and Kemi Mano to Minyode. Let's not limit our economic woes to only external factors. We should equally blame ourselves as a nation over the years for failing to invest in domestic avenues such as agriculture, which would have saved us a lot in these trying times. Jomo Pokwasi Festus, the Agric Minister, says we are fine. You and I know it is not true, but he says we are fine, so we'll leave it there. And I know Kojo will refuse to respond to this question if I asked about our agriculture.
Actually, I wanted to make a comment on Jomo domestic investment question. I don't know if I should go now. I should let you read some more.
Just 2 more. I'm praying the IMF, as part of their conditionalities, will ask the president to reduce the number of ministers and also to stop Agenda 111. As for the free SHS, they shouldn't dare touch it. Francis Brakwa in Kumasi. Kwame, sometimes you and others ask questions about the free SHS concerning those who could pay. Those who can pay fees are those who pay taxes. So you want us to be excluded, and government will use those who pay taxes to cater for those who don't pay. I totally disagree. Amwa in Kumasi. Hey, it's the same way. I guess it will not go away anytime soon. Tell my younger brother Kojo Oppong Nkrumah that the mode of communication of the e-levy was a cause of seeming rejection. It was made to look as if e-levy was going to solve all our problems instead of targeting a challenge. Kwesi Baini sent that one. Kondas Bedu Sifia Safo Sefiosu says any responsible parent who secures a loan to guarantee a payment possession for his or her children must be commended. For President Akufo-Addo to proceed to the IMF is not a crime, taboo, or an abomination. Akwesi Oppong in Ajusu say, I support the president's decision to go to the IMF for balance of payment support. My advice to the government is that they should negotiate well. With hard work, we should bounce back. Akwesi Oppong in Ajusu Besiase. Initially, Ken Oforiatta said IMF was not an option, but he never said going to IMF is satanic. Now IMF is the option, so let's go. Master Planner Junior Ken Tampo. Tell Kojo Nkrumah that the e-levy must be 1%. Let them bring road tolls back. It will give us some relief. Snipes in Accra. If the IMF is an alternative for this government to solve money crisis, I would also appeal to the government to invest massively in agriculture and made in Ghana products. Greetings to my MP from Nkrumah Foster, Achim Ayerebi. Kojo, now so be Bibiano.
Jumo sent a message about the fact that in the end, I will say more domestic investment.
Yeah.
100%. Not just
Jumo Pokwase Festus.
Not just in the area of agriculture. Chairman, so we have titu industry. We say abribia you can say economy. So we titi ukoko ni ade na wa export keke. And how titi raw material be now they akwa bruchire no. Wa ho din so. Me kasa elia no me ka say IMF for most of your problems in our mind. And I'm talking balance of payment. I'll say, but I say, but IMF don't be honest on the boy and just on the balance of payment side. Kakrabe can you see the maybe I can say general liquidity I work or more idea I am a buying you. But the broader questions in the Ghanaian economy, for any juma, send you juma. Impuntu Juma titru productivity for exports. I will see a deep in your collaboration with the private sector. Now you to me require a bit to me first on my private sector enya sika for sa domestic investment now kano. Ade ba kwaya and say in terms say a creative development bank of Ghana. Because we Ghana banks na sika wo mo form. Inti sika o mbenya no de aboa industry for domestic investment in our form. And the Creative Development Bank of Ghana about I think about $750 million. And I will say a pretty big account. No money is sika de aboa Ghana banks no. Any financial institutions. Now financial institutions ne banks no so to me pia more domestic investment. So say you be Africa Continental Free Trade Area. E boama so we Ghana in our factory wa hasi. Nanka o produce bibi anka first na se nipa 30 million pen na wo target here. They say we to meet target over 1 billion across Africa. The friend economies of scale. Now my will pay unit cost about from where to me I transported their call other parts of Africa the market na yekese. But the Ghana business nino obe to me take advantage of Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Adia baku here ne say wo so nya sika yede be invest ewo ne expansion ne business mo. And only domestic investment are jomo eka ho asem. And if you see 200 amount through the development bank, there's another window, venture capital trust fund. No send a chichi no hwem rana was a fee bi anke iska craft budget mu. Near the share venture capital trust fund mu to me aboa private equity funds no. Moma boa industry for expansion. Omo expanding no, create more jobs, produce more, export more, yenya more sika dia ba be go a photo ni more central bank near the coin. They say venture capital trust fund, they don't get much money from the budget. They don't get much money from the budget because akohumasi kanan kasano. E wo form. The chairman I'm saying common ye di na poso pa ne say. Akohumasi kanan was see a pejam. Ye pejam we was see a DB share some of these critical areas to say domestic investment, venture capital trust fund. Any near me bema sika akọ sikane mwako private sector. Now private sector say biskano so ba say dini di and say to talk afofra and say ye ni but ye be share productivity ni mu. Ye producing more, ye exporting more, ye exporting more nko ye to say first there na ye to me exporting so obey you next scan double chiri. O say scan back better for two ni mu say. Na boama ye cedi no emu epeja aboama ye balance of payment international debt obligations ni ade ye to me service. Na ye tua so to no so no. Fiscal no so nsa kan ska akra akomasika no so nsa kan ska akra no de asoye nyina o Ghana memo ase.
Mr. Mimbisa, Chairman General, if the IMF is what will help the economy bounce back, let's go. T.A. Omari Boache, UG Psychology Department. Obviously, please ask him what happens to Agenda 111 and the National Cathedral. Kojo.
Chairman, Agenda 111 year, Adele Mampeni, Edia 2 year name say, any frivolous expenditure. So, if you Achimansa district, you need district hospital. Now it takes Agenda 111 to get us a district hospital. Yeah, we embrace it fully. Ebi a wo baby na say wo to make a private clinic. Wo doctor be our friend or somo or hospitals, polyclinics ben wo betumi adriver kokolebu ana ya. Wo be kasa Agenda 111 intwem. But yeah, if you districts are you need district hospital. A 3D any mfa ne yare nketinketi kunkofo no. Wo can district hospital once ma wa kan because they affect your lives directly and your livelihood. Now we also believe say a development program was say yene to say fund no commodity you to me find a way by which you bebo ho ban make money available but still find a way to protect it. And no say we make Kojo Oppong Nkrumah me madwin especially as MP of Ofonse Ayirbi. So we because in charge Agenda 111 mu one hwa ye no benya ntokwa because no na yeso ye hwe anim say ye nipa ewu no but I agree in the broader sense expenditure rationalization kakra bebem me di the same fit say me me too fixated on what ye no mountains in data no na you baby e betumi aye cuts but at the same time achieving what is most important to the Ghanaian people.
Kojo ne brofa say expenditure rationalization
ntichi no na me fe nkwa na sika yutu no say na betumi afa so atete so say no expenditure rationalization.
Dr. Solomon Owusu of Colorado, USA, or say I'd like to ask Kojo Oppong Nkrumah about taxes generated from the small-scale mining sector. Small-scale gold mining produces about 35 to 40% of gold in Ghana. Large-scale that produced 60 to 65 paid about 4.2 billion in taxes to the government in year 2020. Why don't we collect taxes from the small-scale mining sector to generate more revenue? Dr. Solomon Owusu, Colorado, USA.
Doc, taxes are taken, I think, from all of these companies, but at the end they were aggregating in a 12.5% of GDP. And we need to do better than that at any point.
We all know that government believes in private investment. However, government must lead in the establishment of certain vital industries, then sell them to Ghanaians on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Government is sure to get its 10% tax on all dividends, and that is Phillips from Takrady. Now,
Phillips, and until I buy a to say GIADEC and Logistic, government is leading to ensure that these industries are created to serve the people.
Eric Amponsa says borrowing from the IMF is in itself not bad. It's what you do with the money that will determine whether your economy will grow or not. For example, if you use the money to build roads, you are certainly going to create employment that will stimulate growth. Government must also prioritize its expenditure and cut down on the waste. Finally, GRA must plug the loopholes in the domestic revenue mobilization drive. Eric Amponsa Boateng, tax expert, sends that one. Well, let's see. Somebody says you're making Kojo Oppong Nkrumah too comfortable. Oh, really? I see. Kwame, one of the reasons the Liman administration was overthrown in 1981 was that his government was talking to the IMF. In the end, the same leftists in the PNDC who took over from Liman took Ghana to the IMF. There are things we all believe in, but when confronted with unforeseen circumstances that require a change, you will be unwise not to do so. A wise man changes his mind sometimes, but a fool never. To change your mind is the best evidence you have won. Desmond Ford is from Equatutu Ampim in Tutu Equapim, who sends that one in. Peace 104.3. So, Kojo, so what next? If you hear your IMF straight up.
The preliminary engagements started right after President call to IMF Managing Director and Finance Minister and any team ADNM. Now, or share data now a bill leading to a crafting of a program. Omampeni a chair task force, not like I mentioned. Weekend here be your cabinet retreat. So far, common baby akwako duno. Because you prepare for mid-year. Until by mid-year, no na say policy measures be or why yet to me I agree on. That's about the middle of July. Minister in charge of fiscal policy, minister responsible for finance, about Parliament. na odi ni na ba beto yenim de hia pa ne say from now to the end of the year no you bet to me aboy ho ban every crisis na aba no senia e ma ahokyere ekosoro ewo kurum eno ne ade hia pa eno ne ade esi o mampani ani so na ye besere say Ghana for mwayen Ghana for kan ho Ghana for inform sunsun no mpa e bon tai akiri na mon bia ye to no say crisis ba enye measure bia obeteki bia na ye popular yet I say some of the decisions we have announced na popular me kai pa covid ba enye bibia be bia na ye popular but ye koye nimu kakran na eso aba no afibon se nipa dodo enya abotoye enti ye besere se momfa mompa e bone musunsun panta echi na enkoso ammo mampani ne task force no ne onoma handle Ghana sikasem no yemfintu ana monkodum pempenso bia nka afie we beba ne wiye no na senior pressure aba wo wiase bia kan no yetumi atete so kakra.
Me who say me ye bia the National Cathedral and now they call expenditure rationalization. Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
On expenditure rationalization, that's your answer for the National Cathedral?
That's my final answer.
Kojo, by Oklahoma Minister in charge of fiscal policy, I have a friend Ken Ofuriata. There's one thing that has been going around for a while. It's getting very embarrassing. Into the owner of business, right? Ghana former Ayedioma Kwama no so munko school. Scholarships. Yintiamoka. Ebi wa yintio mu school fees. Ebi wa mu upkeep yintia omo allowances enko, omo stipend enko. Ama ho kire kese pa abom so. Ebi wo UK, ebi wo hen, ebi wo hen yesre aban. When I hear information minister, Asemba one for information man be go nim ya call get fund didn't put them to meet your area but scholarship secretariat. Kojo, it is getting embarrassing. Oba and now unye bi ka ho a obetiase ye nya sa reporting every day into when I'm the information now catch and say expenditure rationalization so ya on franka
memana swati
Kojo no pay that say
chairman yamin kan o mesa da wase say unya bre ema me na metumi ayi questions bibra no Ghana for e won sem bibra o mu bisa and ye what democracy mu de edi say o mu bisa sa questions because yeso ne share o mu bo bibre ti edi so mu bisa sa questions ni na yeso ya said ni say senate a ye be sorry waka na answer bi e wo ho bia ye de ama mesre titru minimum no constituency a weekend you know mo pay answer say free me ho no munya na me buy mate say senior na American no mutiti o baby bebre omoso emfa me but anu ye no me ba mesen providing more access to them as we are providing in many other parts of the country. Ni nkoso mompa in time pen for chi say o mo de be kwakodu jojo chama me dase
Kojo dase MP of Wasia Irebi and Information Minister Kojo Oppong Nkrumah Anopei and I na twetwen komo efa yedwuma ye ho ye se ye de Ghana call IMF.
Daddy Wokita Bugatti, so yeah, the short term farm, I want to come. And that Chaco Sala, no, so no matter what. My walk through the valley of the shadow of darkness, and me with that. Now, cause I'm foolish, I say, Musuya. No, Mamma, some Nina, short to one side. Siga somebody in a short to Ayo. Sister, the woman of Yashoko. We get a fire every day, can't quench you. Rabasha fancy no sad so. As I'm a mecca, I can't go to Yami baby.
Auntie, we've done our bit in service to God and country. Our next news broadcast is at 12. Kofi Kumbilson is next on your radio. This is the IMF edition of Kokrokoo. Ochebe to Kwesi Pratt will be here. Nana Komia will be here. Maybe Professor Jacomo will be here. The conversation will continue. May your day be blessed. As always, remember to keep your dreams and hopes alive is all you have. It's going to be an even more tough world out there. But still we rise. And so when you stop to say a prayer, remember to say one for me too.